Derpy's album by Spotlight. Chapter 1. My first daughter. It was a late night in Ponyville, and every pony was fast asleep. Well, not quite every pony. At the edge of town, a small house lay still simmering into a cloak of darkness, fallen upon the world around it. Inside lay 3 ponies. A gray, wild-eyed Pegasus mare, a young amethyst unicorn mare, and a gray little unicorn filly. Both unicorns were getting ready for bed when the Pegasus woke up in a broken dialect.
Mom, it's bedtime.
Okay, Mom, the amethyst unicorn called back. Busy cleaning your teeth.
I'll be right here, Mommy,
the filly called in a high, cute voice. Come on, Dinky, let's get you to bed, the older unicorn said. Little sister having finished pressing.
All right, Sparkler.
Dinky yawned contentedly. Sparkler walked by Dinky to her room. Derpy was waiting there.
Mom, is that bed? Yes, Mommy.
Dinky climbed to the bed. Sparkler tucked her in as Derpy kissed her goodnight.
Night, Mom, Muffin,
she said.
Night, Mommy. Night, Big Sis.
Night, Dinky, Sparkler replied as she shut the door. That's my little sister, the best one I ever had.
She only one,
Derpy joked. You do plan on telling her the truth one day.
When older, you get like 3.
I understand. Night, Mom. Sparkler gave her a hug and headed down the hall to her room.
When older,
Derpy repeated to herself. She started thinking. She headed down to the living room and stood in front of the couch and reached under it, pulled a large book titled My Daughters. It was a photo album. She sat down and opened it. The first page contained a photo of her and Sparkler playing out streets in the streets of Manhattan, where Derpy used to live. She turned the page to reveal a photo that brought a tear to her eyes. It was a photo of Sparkler's first day with her, the day she became a mother.
Maine,
M-A-N-E, where ponies are divided into 3 classes. The rich snobs, the middle class, and the homeless. Ditsy Backwater Dew was a police mare that patrolled the streets with her partner, Deputy Sixer, a light brown earth pony. There have been several reports of break-ins in the past couple of weeks. Ditsy and Sixer were on patrol in their squad car. Ditsy, we've been through this part of town 5 times tonight. I doubt that thief strikes here, exclaimed Sixer in his broken accent.
That's the thing every time we get out duty, the bandit strikes,
Ditsy replied back.
So that's why we're going to stay up all night until we catch him or her.
I doubt we're staying up all night. Remember we've been stolen, right?
Yeah, a blanket, 2 pillows, several odds and ends for the refrigerators. But stealing is stealing, that's final.
Ditsy, all I'm saying is, you tried to pull another all-nighter, come up with nothing. Sheriff Nightstick is going to ask you to turn in your beds.
But I feel so close. I can feel it at the tip of my hooves.
Ditsy, you're tired. Why don't we put our beds away for tonight and head to the station and check out, go home? My wife and kids are probably worried about me.
That's my problem. Why?
She asked rudely. Oh, come on, have a heart. She sighed.
You're right, Sixer. I am tired. I'm sorry I said that. I don't have any kids or a husband.
I understand. Why don't we call it a night? We can search again in the morning.
Fine.
They drove back to the station. Once there, they greeted by Knife Stick, a large midnight blue unicorn. He didn't look amused. He spoke in a deep Russian accent. First, we got Brooklyn, now we got Russian. You're just pulling off all my acting talents, aren't we? Trying to put it on another all-nighter, I see. Officer 2. Not tonight, Sheriff, Sixer stepped in. Really?
Yeah, sure you're tired to me taking the night off.
That's a valuable piece of advice you taken, Nightstick pointed out. Say, I know how hard you've been working to solve the break-ins, but there are bigger crimes to solve.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you should take the next couple of days off. Don't worry about any more break-ins. I'll dispatch some other patrols to keep an eye out. Just go home and take some time off. You're a loose cannon, Ditsy.
No, I'm not.
You're too close to the case.
No, I can't stand this.
You're going too far. Your body's paying out checks you can't cash.
Going too far or not far enough?
Oh, I'm saying you should really pay attention to your superiors.
My superiors are wrong.
Turn in your badge.
Fine, I will.
Ditzy do is a police officer without a cause.
Alright, Sheriff, I'll go punch out.
With that, she did as she told and headed home to her apartment. It was a simple place she could afford with her income, but the moment she stepped off in front of her, she could tell something wasn't right. It was as though somebody was in her house. Still in uniform, she drew her gun. Okay, whoever's in my house, come on out. I know you're still here. She called down the hall. She heard some scuffling coming from her kitchen. She proceeded down the hall, gun in hoof, to her kitchen. Once there, she saw the refrigerator was open.
Okay, I know you're here. I'm a cop, so there's no point in hiding.
That's when she heard a whimpering noise coming from her pantry. She went to approach carefully with her gun out and peeked into the pantry. There she saw she didn't expect to see. Quivering in the corner of the pantry was the nemesis unicorn filly. Realizing she had nothing to threat, she put her gun away. The two looked at her. Dizzy spoke.
Okay, who are you?
Sparkler, officer.
I'm off duty right now, so call me Ditzy. Anyway, how did you get in my house?
You left the front door open.
I knew I forgot to do something this morning before I left. Anyway, why are you in my house?
I was hungry.
Does you have food at your place?
Sparkler looked down and a tear fell from her eye.
You don't have a home, do you?
Sparkler shook her head.
What about your parents?
Don't have any.
See.
So I started stealing food.
So let me get this straight. You've been stealing food. What about a blanket or pillows?
I lost those. Because you said you're a cop, I guess you're going to turn me in, aren't you?
Well, I think I just solved the case I've been working on. Listen, I do have to bring you in, but I'll make sure you don't go to jail. But I won't let you turn you in just yet. I'm not doing for the next few days. When I go back, I'll take you with me. Till then, you're welcome to stay here. But if somebody comes to the door, I'll answer it. If it's Stephanie 60 or Sarah Nightstick, I want you to hide. I can't have them know I have somebody else living with me. Understood?
Yes, Miss Ditzy.
Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. Come here.
She knelt down, holding her arms out. The scared filly didn't know what to do. So she ran over and hugged Ditzy and started crying.
Here, don't cry. You're safe now. You seem hungry. I'll make you something. You like muffins?
Muffins?
Yeah, I kind of have a lust for them.
Unless?
Every time I see muffins, I go home and on them with one word. It was that. Muffin!
The girl giggled. She reached to the top shelf of the pantry and pulled out a basket of muffins. The two of them walked into the dining room. Ditzy handed Sparkler a muffin. The little filly went down fast.
Hungry, are you? Mm-hmm.
Sparkler said, "Want a mouthful of muffin?"
Now, when I do take you in, do you know what charges you face?
Sparkler gulped the muffin.
No. You'll be charged with breaking and entering and stealing,
Ditzy explained.
but I'll be there to explain why you did this. It would kill me to see a young filly like you go to jail. Like I said, I'll make sure you don't.
Yes, Ditzy.
Ah.
At that moment, she let a yawn.
Let me show you a place to sleep.
She put Sparkler on her back and walked her to her room. There, she pulled out a bed from under her bed. This was only used when she had a guest over, like a family member, but that was rare. She put Sparkler on the bed and tucked her in.
Ditzy, yes, little one, you promise I won't go to jail? I nothing promise, she answered. Cross my heart, hold the fly, sticking nothing in my eye.
Sparkler giggled. Ditzy couldn't believe how cute Sparkler was around when she giggled.
Get to sleep, little one. We can have more fun tomorrow.
Okay, good night, Miss Ditzy.
Good night, little one.
She patted her on the head and walked down to the bedroom to change out of her uniform. She remained quiet for most of the time and let her thoughts process. She walked back to her room and saw the little filly sleep in the guest bed. Just when all her thoughts added up to 3 words as she said,
I'm a mother.
Next morning, Ditzy woke up to find Sparkler wasn't in her bed.
Don't tell me she left,
she muttered herself. Her thought was broken when she began to smell something cooking. She quickly rushed down to find what was going on. Found Sparkler with cooking eggs on the stove.
Smells good, she said. Oh, Miss Ditzy, this was supposed to be a surprise for you. Well, that's very sweet of you, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to call me Miss. Just Ditzy.
Okay, Ditzy, but it felt like it since you're letting me stay here.
It's not a problem.
Sparkle decided to come up with something to talk about. So, you live alone?
More or less. I don't have any stallions in my life, if that's what you're getting at.
Any pony you have your eye on?
Well, you're going to think it's kind of stupid, but I do have a crush on the sheriff. Why are you asking?
Well, since you're letting me stay here, I figured we should find things to talk about.
Well, okay.
Why does he ask her for dinner?
Well, I'll think about it.
There's a sudden knock on the door. Ditzy ran to the window and looked.
Sparker, you need to hide. It's Sheriff Nightstick.
Sparkle hid in the pantry. It's Ditzy answered the door.
Ah, Sheriff, what brings you around to my place?
Please, I'm not on duty. So just call me Nightstick. I came here to check in on you.
Oh, is that all? Well, thank you. I'm just going to have breakfast.
Ditzy, what's going on? You seem jumpy.
Dumpy? It's Dumpy. I feel fine.
Okay, well, I just want to tell you two things. One, we didn't receive any break-ins last night, so it's a good thing you didn't put an all-nighter. I didn't want you to leave the force just yet. Two, I want you back in by end of week.
Oh, is that all? Well, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you later.
Yes, you will.
He started to turn and walk away. Ditzy had a thought.
Wait, Nightstick, when do you get out there today?
I have day off today. Why?
Well, would you like to come over for dinner tonight?
Well, okay. 7.
7.
See you then.
With that, Nightstick left. Ditzy closed the door.
You come out now, Sparker.
Student walked down to the kitchen.
So, invite the sheriff over for tonight? Yes, why?
You gonna do that because you have a crush on him?
No, sweet. It's strictly professional.
And what about me?
Well, just wait and see.
But you promised to keep me safe.
And I still plan on doing so.
But what about me?
I'm going to tell him about you.
But why?
I'm going to talk to him and try to convince him to prevent you from going to prison.
He is a former guard that worked for the
Princess herself. He may seem like a tough guy, but inside, he's a big softy.
I hope you know what you're doing, Ditzy. You could lose your badge.
How do you know all this?
Simple knowledge.
I see. Well, why don't you and I go out and get stuff for tonight?
But we haven't had breakfast yet.
You left it on the stove, didn't you?
Sparkle ran and realized the eggs were burnt. She turned out the stove. Sorry, Ditzy, she fell saying. Ditzy put her hoof on her shoulder.
It's okay. We'll go out and get breakfast.
So they went out, stopped at a local diner for breakfast. It's easy to guess what they had. They went to the local market to get supplies for tonight. During all this, Ditzy kept an eye out just to make sure they didn't run into Nightstick or Sixer. It took them several hours to get the supplies. Finally, they returned. Sparkle had dinner early, so she wouldn't get hungry. Eventually, 7 came around, and Nightstick showed up, and Sparkle hid in the pantry.
Good evening, Nightstick. You look nice.
Take a Miss Jewel. You look nice too.
Come on in. Let me show you the dining room.
You know, Ditzy, I've known you for 3 years now, and I've never seen the inside of your apartment.
Nightstick said.
Nice place you have.
He complimented.
Thank you. For dinner tonight, we'll be having steamed vegetables and root beer. I know it's nothing fancy, but I'm not much of a cook.
Nightstick looked at the spread.
I think it's wonderful. I thought I was Russian, not German. You said I have a Russian accent. I'm not German. There's a difference. Wunderbar. If I was saying wunderbar, I would be speaking like this. I would be sounding German. I am not German. I am Russian. There are two separate words.
The two sat down and ate in silence. It was like that for a while, because Ditzy was trying to figure out how to break the news to him. She finally came to words.
Sheriff Nightstick?
Ditzy,
He interrupted.
you didn't invite me over just to have dinner, did you?
Well,
You're hiding something, Ditzy. If you are, come out and see it.
fine. You know the case I've been working on, right? Well, I found the party responsible.
Well then, why haven't you turned him in yet?
1. He has to see, and 2. Well, you have to see for yourself.
What?
You can come on in now, Sparkler, she said. Sheriff, this is Sparkler. She's been the one that's been doing the break-ins, but only because she is homeless and doesn't have any parents.
Ditzy, did you plan on turning her in?
Yes, but I was planning on to wait. Please don't arrest her. She needs a home.
I see you have good plans, but I could charge you for hiding a criminal. But seeing how young she is, I won't arrest her. However, this case needs to be closed. So I'll pull some strings and get some other thief to take the blame. I'm not supposed to do this, but I'll help out just this once. But the only question remains is where is Sparkle going to stay?
Dizzy looked at him, then at Sparker.
I'll take her in. She needs a mother.
Sparker's face lit up.
I was going to suggest to take her someone to get adopted, but are you sure, Ditsy?
Yes, I always wanted a daughter, but I can't bear the 9 months late. After all, who would want this figure to get ruined?
She struck a pose, and they all laughed.
Well, if you're sure of yourself to take her in, but you must do two things first.
What's that?
Fill out this form.
He reached into his pocket and pulled a sheet of paper.
It's an adoption form. I always keep one handy, just in case it is ever needed. Never thought I ever used it.
Dang, son! That is some wicked preparedness! Dizzy took the form and quickly filled it out and tossed it back to him.
What's the second thing?
You'll have to tell 600. The status is closed.
Goody, Sheriff.
They took us in time. It was 8:30.
Well, it seems to be getting late. Dinner was amazing.
Sparker, would you kindly show our guest the door? Yes.
They felt like guiding him to the door.
Sparker,
He spoke.
you're dodging a huge bullet. But if you ever steal again, you will go to jail.
She opened the door. Don't worry, Sheriff. I have a home and I don't have no need to steal.
I'll keep you to that. Ditsy will do her best to take care of you.
I know.
She's your mother now. Treat her like one.
Yes, sir. He just smiled. Dinner was amazing. He said again,
Ditsy, I'll see you back at the station by the end of the week. You two have a lovely evening.
Just Medania, he said as he left. Sparker shut the door behind him. Ditsy was standing in the way of the door to the dining room, looking at her. She was smiling and had a tear in her eyes. He held out her arms. Mommy! Sparker sighed as she ran to her new mom. The two embraced and remained in a hug for some time. Ditsy knew things were getting better. Derpy sat down on the elbow and wiped a tear from her eye. As he got down, headed to the hall to Sparker's room and headed in. Sparker, who was asleep, woke up. What is it, Mom?
Nothing. I just looked at the photo book, she said. Reminded Mom of the first day she met you.
Sparker sat up in her bed. Mom, come here. She held out her arms. Derpy hugged her. Thanks to you, I'm not stealing anymore. I could have asked for a better parent. I bet Dinky will think the same when she's older. Derpy pulled away.
You're right. I'll tell her when she's older. Thanks, sweetie.
Sparker went to the room and peeked into Dinky's room. The little one was asleep. Then headed back to the living room. She sat down and thought,
When older.
Chapter 2.
My dear dies.
As Derpy sat on the couch, fumbling with her hose, while repeating the words when older to herself. Her thoughts were all messed up, and she couldn't keep them straight. She looked over her album, remembering the time she got Sparker. She knew she would lie on the pages after Sparker's photos.
What me?
She asked herself. She couldn't take it anymore. She grabbed the album and opened it up to the next page. Right there on the page was a photo of her first time with Dinky. In the photo, they were in the hospital. Dinky was wrapped up in a blanket, just as he'd been born. Derpy was holding her and showing her to the camera. Derpy had a bandage wrapped around her head and right eye. Sparkle was sitting on the hospital bed next to Derpy. Derpy's thoughts were starting to align. It was all coming back to her now. The day she became Derped. It was 6 years since Sparkle had moved in with Ditsy. Now being a mother, she decided to send Sparkle to school. In school, she did fairly well. She almost never got into trouble. Also saying a lot, because even having a cop for a mom, she was still picked on. This is where Memory Lane picks up. It was early afternoon, and Ditsy was waiting at a bus stop for Sparker to get home. 6 minutes went by, and the bus stopped by the corner. The door opened up, and instead Sparker was up into Ditsy's arm, like what normally happened. Sparker stopped the bus, crying, and looking like she had been beaten up. It was then Ditsy had a worried look on her face. Okay, Vic, I am docking you 3 points for not only misspelling the word minute, but instead of using by as in B-U-Y, you used the word by B-U-Y. I'm dogging you a few points for your final grade on this one.
Sparkler, she blurted out, suddenly worried. What did equestria happen to you?
Still tears, the filly ran up to her mom and hugged her. Dizzy placed one arm around her, trying to comfort.
Mommy,
She sobbed as she looked up.
it's okay, Dizzy soothed. Let's get you inside before another pony sees you're shiny.
Once inside, she gave Sparkler her after-school snack, which was a cup of hot tea and a blueberry muffin. The two of them sat down at the dining room table. The little one was starting to calm down, so Dizzy started to talk.
Tell me, who did this to you?
It was Brass Hoof and his gang.
Who are the others?
Scarlet Light, Sheer, and Brute Force, and Brick Wall.
Which one did this to you?
They all ganged up on me.
Why?
Because they say I'm worthless street trash. Because I was adopted. And what's wrong with being adopted?
You should be one to talk. How did you get away?
My friends Final Scratch and Miss Hazelbone stood up to them.
If I'm not mistaken, then you've been picked on as well, Dizzy added. Final because he's an albino, and Miss Hazel because he's pregnant. By the way, isn't she a teacher?
That's true, Mommy.
Listen, I'll try to use something about Brasshoof and his gang. I'll talk with the principal. But anyway, I'm on duty tonight. I was hoping you might want to stay at a friend's house tonight.
Well, Final said I could come over tonight. I'll still send her a telegram.
You were going to ask me, right?
Yes.
Good. Telegram her once you're finished. I'll gotta get ready for work.
She patted Sparkler's head and went to her room. As she started getting her uniform on, she started thinking. Being a mother is fun, but it can be hard.
I mean, I'm glad to be one, but I feel like I'm not doing my job correctly.
She got beat up again by those bullies.
Luckily, she had friends looking on her. Something needs to be done about those bullies.
I always cheating their karma, but their goes around comes around.
If I find out they did something bad one more time, it's gonna be a hard time for them.
Now she had their uniform on and headed back to the dining room. Sparkle finished her telegram.
Well,
It's yes. She just got back to me saying yes.
Okay, go pack your things. I'll drive you on my way over to work.
Okay, Mommy. Sparkle quickly went to her room to pack. At that moment, Dizzy heard a knock on the door. She answered it. She was greeted with a broken accent.
Good afternoon, Dizzy. How's the little one?
Hello, Sixer. She's doing fine.
She replied in her high, happy voice.
Let me see to my place.
I was in the neighborhood. That's how I check you in to see if you're coming over to work tonight.
He replied sarcastically. Dizzy dropped to a serious face.
I know I missed the last week, because Sparkler was in the hospital.
What happened?
He sounded worried.
He's being bullied at school. Apparently he always seems to get away with it.
I take it they don't give you a cup.
Right. Anyway, I'm gonna drop Sparkler off at a friend's house, so she can stay the night while I'm on duty.
Sparkle looked up and stood next to Dizzy. I'm all set, Mommy. Oh, hi, Mr. Shitter.
Six turned his head to look at Sparkler. Well, hello, Sparky. Going to a sleepover, I see?
Yes, sir. She replied with a giggle and a bless.
But I remember my first sleepover, he said, looking up. My sister and friends painted my house pink, he said, sounding deadpan. They paid for it when I replaced your toothpaste with glue.
Dizzy Sparkler took a step back.
Sixer, you're doing it again.
Dizzy pointed out that he was drifting off into his own world. This was one of the few upsides with working with him. He would drift off and she would make fun of him for it, or snap him out of it. When the time came, he would get serious.
What? Oh, must have drifted off again. Anyway, I'll meet you down at the station when you drop Sparkly off for a sleepover.
He saluted Dizzy, who did the same. As he walked away, he started talking to himself.
Say, you pick my house some color and you get a mouthful that you can't open.
Dizzy and Sparkler laughed.
Ready, little one? Dizzy asked. I've been ready. Hop on my back and I'll fly you over.
Sparkler did that. On the way over, Dizzy had more thoughts. Taking her friend's house tonight was a good idea, because he could be safe there.
But I'm still worried that she's going to get beat up again on Monday.
A few moments went by, and they were at Scratch's residence. They were greeted by Vinyl and her mom. I'm seeing little Billy Vinyl. It's the most adorable thing ever. They exchanged contact info just in case something came up. Dizzy dropped Sparkler off and flew her off to the station. Once there, she was greeted by Nightstick.
Good afternoon, Sheriff. She smiled. How you doing, you big softy?
Same to you, Miss Dew. He blushed. I'm not a softy.
Yes, you are. You went down to school today and held a presentation about safety for the little ones. Therefore, you are a big softy.
Nightstick was too embarrassed to reply to that. Instead, he asked, Speaking of school, how's Sparkler holding up?
She got beat up again at school, she said with a sigh let down. We need to do something about these bullies.
I don't know what we can do, unless they get busted for something.
Nightstick said with a concerned look. Put his hoof to her chin, raised her head, and hugged her.
Why don't you take your mind off it and go patrolling now? 6-shooter is waiting in their squad car.
Are just patrolling tonight?
She said.
Yes.
Ditsy looked down at her squad car where 6-shooter, who was talking to himself.
There was a time when she replaced my shampoo with paint.
6-shooter,
Ditsy interrupted.
I was bald for 2 weeks.
6-shooter, she said in annoyance. He's out of it.
Oh, hi, Ditsy. When did you get here?
Face off.
Just get in the car. We have to patrol tonight.
Okay, Ditsy, let's go.
While on patrol, things were quiet between the two of them. Ditsy didn't want to get 6-shooter going again. She had shared enough of his life story, so that she could write it herself. As they drove, they took a left down the road called No Pass Lane, a place that was only for the lowlife and thugs could live. Ditsy could always pass through to see what was going on in this troublesome place. Only about 2 minutes in, she spotted a familiar figure of a unicorn. It was none other than Sparkler's teacher, Miss Hazel. Ditsy pulled up to her.
Good evening, Hazel,
Ditsy said.
What brings you to No Pass Lane?
I need to get to the hospital.
What happened to you? You look like something bad happened.
I was jumped. I think it was Brazova's gang, she said as she grunted pain.
When did they jump you?
But back there, in the parking lot. You gotta help me. You gotta get me held to the hospital. I'm worried about my baby.
Don't worry. We will. But you can hang on and bring us to where they jumped,
Ditsy requested.
Ditsy, she needs help. If we could get Brass Huff later.
6-year tried to persuade Ditsy.
6-year, I know what you're trying to do. But Brass of his gang put my Sparkler in the hospital. I can't stand another week worrying if my daughter will come home safe or not. Besides, we can't take her. She needs an ambulance.
Ditsy had a cruel mother moment. Can't I ride in the back? Ditsy sighed.
Fine, hop in.
Miss Hazel did just that. Ditsy stepped on the gas and drove to the parking lot.
Say, Miss Hazel, why are you in No Pass Lane anyway?
6-year asked with a look of curiosity. I was at my home, waiting for home for work.
What is your husband going to say when he finds out about this?
He won't. He died 3 months ago.
Oh, but everybody still calls you Miss.
I haven't told anybody except you two. Derpy parked the car and got out.
Stay here, 6-year. Miss Hazel, I need you to take me where they jumped you.
Okay. She stepped out and pointed to a nearby alley. Put these two words together.
6-year, come with me.
All three of them went over. Sure enough, there was somebody there. There were 5 ponies laughing, and seemed to be enjoying themselves. There were 3 unicorns and 2 earth ponies.
Say, sir, leave by the entrance and come with me to the keys. Hazel, come with me. I'm going to confront these punks.
Will do, the two said in unison. As Ditsy and Hazel approached, the gang was talking.
And so, when Beetle does what they face to die for,
said Red Unicorn, who appeared to be the ringleader of the group.
You're right, boss, said a unicorn with a dumb guy voice.
Shit, a brick. My sweetheart's talking, said another unicorn, who was the only mayor of the group.
Thank you, Scarlet, but don't call me sweetheart. Now, I want to congratulate you and Brute Force for assisting me on our latest jump. No one gets to be my old teacher, Miss Hazel. She's been putting on a few pounds, but her reaction was worth it.
The 2 Earth ponies, Sierra Brute Force, shook their heads in agreement.
Oh, boss, what now, Brick?
Hey, we're probably the greatest gangsters ever. Yeah, bringing about our crimes almost in near public where anybody can overhear us. Hey, go in there and tell those cops. They'll be so jealous of what we just did.
Looks like she came back from round 2, but some help. Brick said, seeing Ditsy and Hazel. Good evening, officer. What can I do for you?
Let's resist obvious Officer Crumbkite joke. She turned to the teacher.
Hazel, let me do the talking.
She looked back.
I take it you're a brass hoof? The one, I'm here to place you and your gang under arrest.
Arrest? What are the charges?
What do you think, dumbass? Multiple counts of assault and attempted murder.
Attempted murder. All my victims live. I've yet to see what the face of death looks like. I would like to see it.
Hazel here is 9 months pregnant. You could have killed her unborn baby. Now you're gonna come quietly and try to use force.
Brasov wasn't listening. Hey, aren't you Sparkle's mommy?
That's part of the reason why I'm here. Now you gonna come or not?
Oh, what? Dragon's my false. You never realized there are 5 of us and 3 of you. Yeah, I can see your partner hiding over there. Clearly outnumbered. Gang, draw your guns. I want to see my first death face. They all pulled out their guns and opened fire. Ditsy got out of there, quickly followed by Hazel. But only one got out of the alley. Ditsy turned and saw that Hazel had been hit. In a fit of rage, she drew her gun and started firing back. Ditsy, get back here! Sixers yelled, but it was no use. She was blinded by her rage. It didn't hear him over the sound of gunfire. The moment was short-lived and Ditsy went down. Sixer radioed for backup. Zero nightstick, anybody, we need backup now! Officer down! I repeat, officer down! He yelled. Ditsy could hear him yelling. The world was spewing. She blacked out. When she woke, there was just so much white. She thought she had gone to heaven. But this was heaven. Why didn't the angels wear doctor's uniforms? She could only see with one eye because the other was bandaged up.
Yeah, she's coming too.
I just don't know what went wrong.
She thought she groaned.
Dr. X-ray, is it safe to come out now?
Asked a familiar voice.
Yes, it is, Sheriff.
Said the doctor. Nightstick entered the room.
I see you took a nasty fella out there,
He said quietly.
What happened to me?
She asked in a broken voice.
You took a bullet to the head,
He said calmly in his accent.
After you went down, 6-year called for backup. We were quick to the scene and arrested the gang. From what 6-year told us, it was Brasov that fired the shots that hit you and Hazel. You survived a bullet to the head, but consider yourself lucky. Brasov out of all of them has the most charges. 16 counts for assault, assaulting a policeman, a decent of a child, attempted murder, and murder. Plus shoplifting. Don't worry, he's going away for a very long time.
What about Hazel?
She asked. Nightstick looked down at a sigh.
She didn't make it, but the doctors managed to save the girl that she was pregnant with. We also contacted your daughter. She should be showing up any moment.
As soon as he fisted, Sparkle burst into the hospital room.
Mommy, are you okay?
She ran up and hugged her.
Your mother's fine, the doctor said. We did what we could to remove the bullet, but I'm afraid she won't be able to speak correctly or see correctly anymore. Well, maybe able to speak correctly with some speech training.
Mommy?
She looked into her mother's eye.
I'm sorry,
Dissy said.
I'm glad you're safe.
She forced herself to say. She looked at the doctor.
What happened to Hazel?
The doctor looked down.
They have news I'm not sure about.
What news?
You see,
He started to find the right words to say to the young filly in the room.
before she passed, she had a last request about a newborn. That falls to you, Ditsy.
Me?
She asked, looking confused.
What do I have to do with it?
You see, she wanted some pony to take care of her child, not send it to an orphanage. She wanted you to take care of the baby. She knew that you already had a child for one unicorn to raise.
Dissy looked at Sparkle and looked back.
I don't have a tough time with Sparkler.
Strangely, she could pronounce Sparkle's name.
Well, she would have been grateful if you said yes.
The doctor finished.
Ditsy thought to herself, considering him now, I won't be able to work on the force anymore.
With a newborn foal in my house, it'll be tough. But I have Sparkle who can help.
Yeah, again, I'll need to get a new place. Our house isn't big enough for 3 ponies, but...
The thought of coming her fast and hard, she started to hurt. Dissy started to talk.
Let me see the foal,
she said slowly.
All right, Miss Stew. Nurse, bring in the filly.
The doctor called out.
It's a girl.
The nurse walked in, carrying a small bundle with magic. She placed the little bundle in Ditsy's arms. Ditsy removed the blanket, and a little green face of a unicorn looked up at her, with yellow eyes that cooed. Not again! Dizzy giggled. He felt a strange feeling go through her body. So he began to smile. Then looked at the doctor.
I want to read, sir,
She said happily.
Doctor looked at her. I'm glad. Are you sure you can do this?
Yes,
She answered. Then she looked at Sparkler. Sparkler, say hello to the new sister.
Well, in that case, Ditsy, added Nightstick, what are you going to name her? She's a dinky little thing after all.
Dizzy's face lit up like Heart's Orange Eve.
Dinky, she thought. Dinky.
She repeated and looked down at the newborn she was cradling. Your name shall be Dinky. She forced herself to say. Dinky just looked down and cooed. Sparkler sat up in bed, looked at her new sister, stared back at her. Mom, you're one of a kind. The sheriff was trying to hold back tears at a touching moment. Everyone looked at her and laughed.
I can't help it. It's moments like this I brought my camera for.
She pulled out his camera and took a photo of the mother and two new daughters.
Mama, you
As a high-pitched voice, Derpy set down her elbow and realized that Dinky was out of bed.
Muffin, what's you out of bed? I had a dream you left me in the woods and never came back.
Derpy was surprised.
That's my feeling on that snow.
But that's a story for another time, she thought.
Muffin, come sit next to Mom.
She offered. Dinky stood up and sat next to Derpy. Put a wing over her unicorn.
When you read me, Mommy?
Just a look at the old look of memory.
What photo? I'll tell you when you're older.
Dinky cuddled up next to her, and she waited for her daughter to fall asleep. She picked her up and carried her on her back. And brought Dinky back to her own bed, where she tucked her back in. As she left, she headed back to the living room. She kept thinking those words.
When older.
Though her trip down to memory lane wasn't over yet, she still had one last memory to remember. Stepping in front of her couch, stared down at the album. It was open to the photo when she got Dinky, but she only knew what was on the next page. Did she turn and finish the ride, or stop halfway through? She was trembling and sweating. She couldn't take it anymore. She sat down hard, cracked the floorboards, took the album and turned to the next page. On this page was more than a photo, but she would get that in a little bit. The photo was of her and her daughters on their last 3 weeks in Manhattan. A tear fell in her eye. It's time to finish the memory.
Let's get it over,
she said, sounding determined. These were the days that she had to start her new life. Dizzy woke up and her head hurt. It had been 7 weeks since she was released from the hospital. She stayed home ever since she got out. She took care to do addition to her family. Dinky and Sparkle were a huge help around the house. The three of them might not be blood related, but they were a family nonetheless. She had it easy, though, taking care of 2 unicorn fillies. She would take care of Dinky when she was home, and then when Sparkle got home from school she would help out. The problem was the house was too small. She just needed someplace new. Someplace she could get away from all this trouble the town caused.
My head.
She moaned as she got up. She got up and headed over to Dinky's crib, where she kept her room. The crib was a gift from Six Year. It was full, so didn't need it anymore. She got down to bed. The little green unicorn was all cuddled up on her blanket. Then she just smiled. She put her hump on the little one's shoulder and gently shook her to wake her up. Dinky yawned as she stretched and looked up at her mother and cooed.
Morning, little one,
she tried to say. She reached down and picked her up. Then she stretched out her wings and gently placed Dinky on her back and cradled her in her wings. Then she headed back to see if Sparkle was up, but she didn't have to smell the eggs, muffins, and orange juice fill the air. The smell of muffins put her in a trance, and she followed the smell down to the kitchen. There, she found Sparkle cooking breakfast. But she was not alone. Sixter and Nightstick were there as well. She quickly snapped out of it.
Sixter, Nightstick, what are you doing here?
Sparkle let us in,
Sixter replied.
Yes, but to the house first.
Nightstick added. Nice head, Ditsy. She quickly shook her bed head.
Had to hoof it to you, Sparkle. You're a good cook.
Sixter complimented. I learned from the best, she replied. Ditsy blessed.
Okay, what are you doing here?
We came to check on to see how you were doing,
Nightstick answered.
By the way, Shooter has a gift for you.
Sixter reached into a bag he had and pulled out a full carrier.
Now you don't need to carry Dinky on your back anymore.
Thank you, Nightstick. Can I talk to you in the next room?
Okay. Sixer, you can talk with Sparkle.
Ditsy hoped Dinky over to Sparkle as the two of them left the room.
What is it you want to talk about?
Important.
She looked down 4 and kicked the floor gently.
Ever since I got shot, I've been thinking about changing teams.
You want to change your name?
Nightstick was confused.
Yes,
Why?
can't say now, but I'll change it from Ditsy to Derpy.
So, Miss Derpy too?
Derpy hooves,
She replied.
What are you telling me?
Trust you.
Dizzy stepped up to Nightstick and kissed her on the cheek.
Thank you.
I'm sure what to say next. The sheriff called for Sixter and they both left. All he knew was he said thank you. That her time in this town was coming to an end. A tear fell from his eye. Back inside, Dizzy stepped back into the kitchen. She had a sad look on her face. Mom, what's wrong? Sparkler asked.
Sweetie, we're moving in 1 week.
Move? You mean leave?
Yes, I have a friend in town called Ponyville who knows a place we can live.
Why do we need to move?
Need a new house so Dinky can have her own room.
Once he said that, Sparkler understood.
And for safety, I need to change my name, so bad guys get out of jail they won't find.
You're dropping this on me now? Why didn't you tell me it before? Sparkler asked, annoyed.
Don't be mad,
Dizzy said, trying to calm Sparkler down.
had to wait for a new place to be ready.
How do you even know what this place looks like?
Fred Carrot Top and Ponyville sent photos. If you want to look, they're in my bed.
Sparkle put the pieces together. You wanted to make sure that we could move before telling me. I get it. Sorry I almost snapped.
It's okay. Give Mom a big hug.
Sparkler hugged her mom and went to find Dinky.
I need you to watch Dinky. I must go out. It's time to change my name.
She stepped out, flew to a place where she could get her name changed. After that, she was no longer Dizzy too. She was now Derpy Huss. After that, she headed to the store to buy muffin ingredients, fresh paper, and new quills. Then she decided to stop by the station. She poked her head in.
Hello?
Oh, hey, Ditsy.
It's Sixer. I was trying to fill out paperwork. Derpy walked in.
No, Ditsy. It's Derpy now.
Oh, right. Sheriff Nightstick told me you would be changing your name. Just Sue?
Had to. Is Nightstick here?
Surprisingly, no. You see, after we left your place earlier, he didn't seem like himself. I could have put my hoof on it, but he seemed upset. Don't know why. Anyway, I gave him the rest of the day off, so I covered for him.
Know where it is?
Sorry, don't know where he is. Might be home, might be out. Couldn't tell you. Why?
Need to tell him something.
Tell him what?
I'm moving in 1 week.
Wait, what?
Wait to get a note.
Derpy didn't say anything more. She flew off.
What did she mean?
Sixer wondered.
I need to call Nightstick.
As the week progressed, Sparkle found it easy with her mom having a new name, seeing how she only called her mom. But moving was the next biggest step for the both of them. Sparkle had to say goodbye to her friend Violet from school. But now that it was Derpy, she had the hardest. Feelings were bothering her. She had been trying to talk with Nightstick, but she was never around. Only one other time during the last week, and he just ignored her. She knew that if she went and told him how he felt, he would never be able to leave. So she had to tell him one way or another, and at the right time. It was the day of the move, and the start of a new life. But Derpy had to do something before they left for good. He gathered up what she needed and flew a quick round. There was a knock on the door of the station.
Sure, get that.
It sounded a grumpy Nightstick. Sure, opened the door. No point there. Just a basket of muffins.
Who is it? It's a gift, Sheriff. But not just any gift. A kid basket of muffins. Muffins. Yes. I think you know who it is from then.
Nightstick went back to work.
There's more.
He raised the trunk in a basket and pulled out an envelope.
It's addressed to you, Sheriff.
Nightstick too looked up. I love to take the envelope over to him and open it. 2 things. First was Derpy's police badge, Derpy, and a letter. What's it say? Nightstick read it.
Dear Nightstick, by the time you're done reading this, I'll left town. As you know, the last few weeks have been a pain for me after being shot. Getting another Philly is tough work in my house. I've come to the conclusion I must leave Manhattan. That's why my badge is in there. I'm trying to get in. I left my gun and uniform at the bottom of the muffin basket. I'm leaving because being shot, I can no longer perform my duties due to my eyes. And if I can't protect myself or somebody else that night, I won't be able to do it again. I want to have my daughters grow up in a non-violent environment. I need to leave in a place that can protect them. Now, I bet you're wondering why I'm telling you all this through letters, Sound Pony. This is the only way I can express how I feel. Nightstick, I've been on the force because of you. You helped me become a mother again when Sparkle had nowhere to go. You were there when I pulled off my first arrest. You assigned me a great partner, 6-year to work with. Most of all, you saved me that night I went down. But it was my fault. You know my key mark has 7 bubbles. Each bubble represents an important memory. It's 2 of them are memories of you. One is 6-year, and 2 are my daughters, and one last one has yet to be filled. What I'm trying to tell you is that these last few years have been great, and I love you. I never told you that, not because I was afraid, but before I could interview for a job. So it never worked, as much as I would have wanted. I'm sorry the paper's a bit splashy. I'm crying because it's time for us to move on. Don't come find me. I'll always keep you in my heart. That photo came in the envelope is to remind you of me. Your close friend, Derpy host, Ditsy Do. By the time he was done reading the letter, it was more spotty than before. Tears running down his face. He looked at 6-year. It was right to hold it in.
6, you could go on patrol right now. I need to be alone.
6 nodded as he wiped the tears from his eyes. Night 6 stayed in his station, pondering the next move. Then he used his magic. He pulled up a quill and a piece of paper.
You idiot! Go off! Run towards her! Chase after that man! Now reunite with her! Preferably run next to the train station. Dramatically. And chase after her. Go, man! Go! And fulfill your destiny! Or else I will slap you again. Derpy flew ahead of the flying moving truck so he could guide him to a new place in Ponyville. They were almost there. Her life in Manhattan was behind her. As she flew, she wore her Philly carrier. She had Dinky in one slot, and the other was a book. Sparkle was in the truck with the movers. They flew for several miles. Manhattan was out of sight, and Ponyville was in sight. She knew she was going to start a new life there, and she would need a job. She would put Sparkle and Dinky through school. It wasn't going to be easy, but she had friends there who could help her, including Cheerily, Raindrops, Carrot Top, the great Powerful Trixie, and Lyra. Oh, boo, boo! The moving trucks entered town. Derpy was happy she was going to start a new life, but she knew she would never forget her old friends back in Manhattan. She spelled it right! She saw Carrot Top by her house and went to greet her. She hugged her friend and introduced her to Sparkle and Dinky. They let a small sigh. You something the matter, Derpy? Carrot Top asked. No, just remembering an old friend. Derpy smiled as her eyes drifted in different ways. This was a new life. Derpy set her elbow down, staring at her badge. That was it. They turned to the last page. On the last page wasn't a photo, but a letter. A letter from somebody important. It was short, but she decided to read it anyway.
Dear Derpy, oops. It's me, Nightstick. By the time you read this, you've probably moved on with your life. I had no idea you felt that way about me, but I did feel the same way. I kind of figured it out when you kissed me on the cheek. The only reason I didn't act upon it was because, 1, it would have gotten in the way of the job, and 2, because there was another pony I was seeing. It's not cheating if we were never in a relationship. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but I'd like to keep a private life. I still have these feelings, but you and I, we couldn't act upon them. I am no longer sheriff. Just recently my gun went off in my holster and crippled my hind leg. 6 shooters now, sheriff. But anyway, I got your letter and you have some grammar problems and muffins. I'm sending your badge back to you because it's yours. If we don't see each other again, I hope your daughters have a good life. I took my time writing this letter when I started. I was fine, but now my leg is crippled. I'm sorry, but I hope this letter finds you. I love you, Derpy, and I always will. A close friend, former Sheriff Nightstick.
Derpy started crying. So loud she woke up Sparkle and Dinky. The two rushed in to see what was the matter. Mama, Dinky asked, why are you crying? Oh, Dinky, she sobbed as she hugged the youngest. Mama's fine. Then why are you crying? Sparkle asked. She looked at what was in front of her again. You're looking at the album again, weren't you? Derpy nodded. Sparkle went in and hugged her mom. It's okay, Mom. You missed them. But keep in mind, just because they're not around doesn't mean they're gone. If it wasn't for Nightstick, you wouldn't have us. Derpy pulled away and wiped the tears from her eyes. Don't cry, Mama, Dinky said in a high-pitched voice. What were you reading to make you cry? I'll tell you when you're older.
Mom, why can't I stay off from meal duty? Why don't we go out and have a mother-daughter day? Sparkle suggested.
I like that.
She sat Dinky down, and her daughters were about to go back to bed.
Wait, can she stay with me for the rest of the night?
Sure, Mom, Sparkle answered. Derpy sewed the album back under the couch, and her daughters curled up next to her. She placed her wings over them and blew out the light, and they fell asleep. Late night at Ponyville, and all the lights were out in the houses. The story's decent. It gets cute at points, along with Derpy and Dinky's relationship. And it's an interesting point. My only problems are, one, it didn't quite explain if the squad car was a character or not. For all I know, I feel like the author was actually expecting it to be a character, a squad car that they would drive. The same goes for use of the gun. I mean, if it's Fallout Equestria, I'm okay with using a handgun. But there are times when I wish it was more like a crossbow. Maybe that's just me. I also do like the addition of bullies. I do know my little brother talks about how he prefers his darkness to actually have some sort of explanation, but I don't really care. As long as it suits the story just fine, I'm okay with it. Though, the grammar problems are what was annoying me the most. The spelling mistakes just kept hitting me hard, and it kept distracting me and pulling me out of the story. When I first read this thing years ago, I didn't pay attention to it much because I was too engrossed in the story. But this is one of the few problems that I have when you're trying to do a live read, and you're also reviewing it. Let this be a lesson to you guys. If you are actually thinking about the review and trying to analyze it, the mistakes will jump at you more. Which is why sometimes it's also good to also have to sometimes read a material twice. Because sometimes the best material will be the ones that stay out the longest. They'll be the ones that hit you and will stay with you and don't change that often. But for me, since I was also reviewing it, the story started making the mistakes and I paid too much attention to those. Those were my slip-ups. Still, sweet and somewhat soft. Nothing too harmful. And it was a good pace. Next time, however, we're about to see something really interesting. Here's the trailer. Princess Celestia, what is this you want me to investigate? My sister found an empty room. It looks like a foal's room, belonging to a child. But you never had a baby, Celestia. Not that I ever knew of. I know. A mysterious room. A long forgotten secret. What are you hiding? An evil conspiracy, and we shall awaken the Dark Queen once again. A lost mare. No, she couldn't be. The arise of a true nightmare. All shall bow before me and despair. A fallen heroine. Go, Applejack, dearie, come to me. An assassin with no home. I will not let them stop me. This is the story of the empty room. This is the story of a missing daughter. Next time, we're bringing something out from Browning Fandom's Classic Dreams. We present to you The Empty Room by Wanderer D. See you there.